what's up? What's up, guys? Jimmy Valentino is back. Jack Locke, my Gandalf. Oh, thank you guys for joining. I'm telling you, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Thanks so much. Got these headphones on, so I'm a little trapped, if you know what I mean. Hey, what's going on, Jimmy boy? Jimmy V. Jimmy V's on. Oh, Minkia. How you all doing over there? Let me see if I can make this adjustment. And we'll be back to normal in a second. And we are. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, and I see my girl in the corner over there. She's already hooked up. And welcome to TUTTI GIMBOTTA. Thank you so much for joining. Michael Salvatore. Oh, grazie Dante. Michael, thank you for posting. Oh! Hi, guys. Can you hear me? Wow. All right, that was a little too close to the table for the likes of me. Wait a minute. That's what happens when you jump around. Wait 1 second. Holy. Oh, my God. Oh, did you guys like that? Being right in the middle of the thick of it and the action and the freaking drama when you don't have stage people or a PA person here to move your goddamn phone? All right, that's all right. I'm over it now, all right? Amy, my girl. Amy's on here, too. Oh, my God. And I was just getting ready to say, wait, I got to calm down now. Jesus Christ. Look, Leslie, I did this for you. Look. Yeah. Oh, mother of God. I'm so excited to talk about our topic today that I literally knocked my tripod right off the table. Okay. Thanks, Les. I knew you would like that. Leslie's like, I'm digging that, man. That was one way to open the show. Bam! Okay. It was either the tripod fell or somebody got shot over here. Whew, now I'm sweating. Oh, my God. Denise, how you doing? Hey, yes, it is Happy Hump Day. So this is the way it works. In the beginning, I do some nice little shout-outs to everybody here that jumps on every week because I love you all for always supporting me and every crazy damn thing I do. John, how you doing? Thanks for joining. You guys are going to love today's show. I'm telling you. I'm not going to give it away yet, but you're going to freaking love it. Just so you know, for my guest today, I got all freaking chick blinged out, all right? Look at this, Les. I'm all freaking chick blinged out. Wait. See if you can see the back. You see the back without me knocking over anything? All right. I am chick blinged out, all right? Patty, what's going on? Thanks for joining. And I'm doing this because Leslie is also... Besides her brilliance, which we'll get into, she's an amazing fashionista, just like my friend Amy, who's on this thread as well. So I wanted to dress to impress today for Leslie. All right. So that's what I'm doing. I'm a little hot though after that fell down. Oh my God. So man, thank you all. Patty, thanks for joining. Jimmy V, I really appreciate you guys. Amy, oh that's so sweet. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. I love it all that you're all on here. Tony Guzman, wow, that's so cool. Thanks. Thanks, Amy. I love you, girl. So the deal is, I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of my feelings because before I bring on my guest, I just want to look. I am a huge fan of love and romance. I really am. I'm an extreme romantic in every sense of the word, truly. Gennaro, oh my God, Gennaro is what, oh my little Gennaro, he is the most cute, handsome, adorable. Leslie, I have to make you meet Gennaro because he is involved with some amazing things in New York City, but he's just the funniest kid I know. Tony, thank you so much. Oh, I appreciate the compliment. Nicole, Mealy, thank you. Thanks guys for popping in. So I'm very excited about my guest today because we're going to be talking about something that's near and dear to my heart. Something that I absolutely love, which is sex, okay? Yes, we're going to be talking about, let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. There's Gennaro. He's already going, okay, give it to me, baby. Dun, 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 dun. All right, not that song, Gennaro. Another song, okay? Work with me on this one, okay, Gennaro? We're going to be talking about it, but in a different way, okay? I'm just telling you now, okay? We're not going down that road, if you know what I'm talking about. I know you know what I'm talking about, all right? I can go down that road, but, I mean, in a nice way. But, you know, sex is a crazy kind of thing. I mean, like, it's relationship things. It's, well, really, it's I think it goes in order. It goes love, to me, anyway. My guest might correct me, but love, romance, relationships, sex. I kind of think so. And I really think, and I want to have this discussion with Leslie, that there should be 3 people in your relationships. No, not like that, you animals. Right away, I knew somebody would go there. No, it should be you, your partner, and your relationship. Because I think you need to treat your relationship like a separate entity. And then you nourish it differently. That's what I think. I will see what my expert says because, sometimes I could be a little smart. You know what I'm saying? This is just freaking hair dye, just so you know. All right? So, but think about it. There's a lot sexually in relationships. It can be huge issues because, hey, look, it's not just men. It's women. I mean, women have hormonal issues, right? Which, hey, makes some women just go, nah, really? No. How about a movie? Because it's just gone, okay? Yes. Okay, Janetto, anytime you're ready, honey. I told you, you're the only person in the world I would make exception for. So I am ready, baby boy. You let me know when you are, okay? Mwah. And then men, sometimes I feel bad for men because there's erectile dysfunction, which is Viagra, right? People use Viagra. Then there's Cialis, which is, their tagline is, be ready when she's ready, which means that this poor guy has to walk around with his pichadillo like bacala. If you don't know what bacala is, it's fish that gets really hard, Italian fish. White fish, for lack of a better word. But it's Italian, all right? He's got to walk around with his pichadillo like bacala for 37 hours. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's not, it's hard, but yet the tagline is, be ready when she's ready. So guess what, ladies? The pharmaceutical companies made that pill just for you, right? Jesus Christ. And then, I don't know if you heard about this one, there's a new one out, which is devastatingly shocking, to be quite frank with you. It's called Peyronie's disease. Have you heard from this? All right? Have you heard of this? Well, Peyronie's disease, I don't mean to laugh, but I swear to God, you can fact check me on this. Google the commercial, Google Peyronie's disease, and it will tell you. Sadly, Peyronie's disease is when a guy's pichadillo is curved. I'm not talking about a little slight, like swagger. That's right, Janetto. No, the brajol is wrong. Not a slight curve is fine. I'm talking about like that, like a hook. You understand? Like you could hang your friggin' coat on it. So it's either to the left or but it's not a good thing. It's not a little curve. It's not like, hold on, we're going. No, that's a goddamn hook. So it's very devastating. Do you understand? Hello, my Mikey Meatball. How are you, sweetheart? Maria, thank you for joining. So it's sad because, little known fact, they discovered this disease many years ago in a town in Italy called Sardinia. Exactly, Leslie. And we know how bad that would be. In Sardinia, Italy, there was a little man known by the name of Salvatore Peyronie. Okay? Salvatore had this disease. No one knew what it was then, but now, research, thank God for Salvatore, because we figured out how to take care of Peyronie's disease. And sadly enough, every time Salvatore and his wife would leave their house in the morning to go buy bread, all the village people would stand outside and make fun of them. First, they would make fun of Salvatore because of the way he walked, and they'd be like, oh, look at this one. It's something like stuck up his guma si chiama, and his wife always had a goddamn neck brace on. Oh, okay. Oh, my God. Sad but true, okay? So I actually knocked my good glasses on the floor. I'm going to see if I can get them without breaking anything else in my house because I want to switch for a minute. And I'm ready to bring on my guest because you're going to love this woman. She is just like, she's fun. She's cray. She's got a big personality. And I just wanted to tell you a little bit about her before I bring her on, okay? Glenda, thanks for joining, sweetheart. Denise. Leslie Gustafson. Gustafson. I said it right. Leslie Gustafson. She is a sex, love, and relationship therapist coach with over 30 years of professional experience. You can see her on Fox TV in Denver on the morning show. She's their sex and marriage expert. She's been featured on all major networks and recently on Access Hollywood, okay? She's the CEO of the amazing Intimacy Box. Ooh, I can't wait to hear about that one, okay? Because I have my own Intimacy Box, just so you know. And she also is the author of the book Amazing Intimacy, basically what Leslie likes to do is she's kind of living her dream, and she really likes to help other couples create amazing love, amazing sex, and amazing life. Please welcome my amazing friend, Leslie Gustafson. Oh, thank you, Mikey. Hi.
Hey, beautiful.
How are you, gorgeous?
So good. So good. You do not need me on this show though. You just are just running with it and we're learning new things about sex. You do not even need me here.
Yes, I need you to validate my madness.
You know I do. You know I do.
Well, first of all, I have to say to everybody, before we start getting into the seriousness of the topic, Leslie and I have known each other, and we had this amazing weekend together with a bunch of women that
We
were
did.
all just have so much to add.
Oh, it
And
was the best.
it was the best. And,
Yeah.
I feel like I've known Leslie all my life, so I'm very happy to
Exactly.
see your face because I miss
Exactly.
you. I miss you, girl.
I miss you too. It's really great fun to be here.
so now,
God help them. Right.
I know. It's great. And look what I did for you. I got some wine. See what I'm
I
saying?
know. I wish I could be sipping a little wine, but I'm a sober therapist when I go to see clients.
I don't blame you because, I understand. And
It's my
Diane is
job.
on. That's your job, right? So now let me ask you a question. I don't know if you heard what I said before, and maybe you can validate this, but I was always of the belief, and it's just my belief, I didn't read this anywhere, that I think there should be three people in a relationship. There should be you, your partner, and your relationship.
Yes,
Because if
I
you
love
treat,
it.
right, if you treat your
I love it.
relationship as a separate entity, you will make sure you
Yes.
pay attention to it more.
Yes, and I'm impressed you knew that because that's like one of my talking points that I often help couples kind of look at that third entity. But that's really cool. You knew that, Maryann. Not everybody knows that.
Really?
Because but it really helps everybody if they can like go, there's us, but there's this thing that we need to take care of too, right?
Right.
And tend to and make work. And it is a separate entity. And when you see it as a separate entity, it also keeps you from getting all like overly dramatic and blaming of each other. It's like you can work as a team going, well, how is our relationship doing?
Exactly.
So, bravo.
Oh, thank you. So it is a real thing. I just, I don't know.
It's a great thing to know. Mm-hmm.
Right. So now,
Yeah.
when people come to you, Les, I mean, are they already at a point where, I mean, is some of it physical? Because I know I was being facetious and, I was having fun with that, but still, there are a lot of physical things for men and women that
Sure.
prohibit sexual ability. And then there's we'll get into the obvious, but do people come to you mostly? What would you say the split is?
Well, interestingly, people come to me with the undercover sex issue, which means they don't usually come out and say, we have a sex problem. Sometimes they do.
Okay.
Sometimes they do, but it's also a package of our relationship. A lot of couples know what I do, and they seem to have chosen me for that reason, but it takes a little bit till we actually get at it, and they're courageous enough to say, oh yeah, and we haven't had sex in 6 months. And you're like, oh, that's why you're here. So it doesn't always come in blatantly.
Right,
Sometimes
right.
it does. Sometimes it does. And usually the driver in that, maybe no surprise, is the guy, because that kind of hit when there's no sex in a relationship. He's more likely to be going,
Right, right.
and the number one reason people come in when it's a sex issue is that they have a difference in sexual desire. One wants more
and
one wants less, and they're going like this and they're fighting over it and they can't figure it out, and one feels defective and the other one feels amazing. And there's this tug of war around their sex life and the consistency.
So I mean, wow, what a position to be in, though, to have these people sitting in front of you then and trying to, how do you guide that? Because I think it's kind of subjective in certain ways, don't you think? Where,
Between the high and low desire,
yeah.
it is subjective. And the truth is, no two people want to have sex at the same time all of the time. So every couple to some degree has to negotiate this. I want, I don't want, now what? So even if you have somebody who has a higher drive, physiologically speaking, we can get into more detail about the different kinds of sexual desire, but the lower person is often looked at like something is wrong with them, which is not the case. But that's where some shame and guilt and I'm not good enough stuff can surface. But every couple needs to learn how to work with each other in a loving way and find what what their, pattern and how often it's going to happen for them. And it's not about numbers, right? Really, it's about quality.
Right.
So,
right.
but it
Exactly.
starts feeling like the numbers when it's been so long and you don't feel like you're getting enough love and passion.
Well, that's true because, I mean, I myself, remember saying to people, gee, it's been a year. So you qualify it with a number. It's never,
Yeah, and we actually, the research, we kind of think of sexless marriage is really 12 to 15 times a year or less. So even
wow.
couples who are having sex might not be having enough sex in order to sustain connection and bond and all the goodness that sex can provide. It's really super glue to a relationship when it's going amazing. And
Yeah.
it's devastating when it's going poorly.
Well, that's the whole thing now. So then do you find that, so how do you guide these people then to like say, okay, we're going to pump up the action now. How do you do that?
Well, it really depends. It's so individual, couple to couple. Like you were saying, people come in, for lots of different reasons. Sometimes there is just pure dysfunction. Maybe she has a sexual pain issue, and so she doesn't want sex because it hurts. Maybe he's got performance anxiety because he isn't consistently performing anymore, and
Right.
he's not sustaining an erection. Sometimes he comes too fast, and everybody's like, "What just happened to the party?" So there's a lot of like functional issues that
Right.
can be a part of the picture. And then there's the desire difference and trying to figure that out. So it really depends what the issue is with each couple and how I tackle it with them. Tackle it.
Wow.
We wrestle. No,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying.
I know exactly.
We wrestled it out there in the session and they just figured it out.
And then they go, wow, Leslie's pretty good. We're going to come back here and get more next time, right?
There you go. But just an FYI, just in ethical sex therapy, nothing ever happens in the way of nudity in the office. These are all exercises that I send them home. Nobody get naked in the office. That's not what ethical sex therapy looks like. So if that ever happens in a therapy office, run like the wind and report.
Wow. Well, I would think so because,
Yeah, people don't always know. They go, do we go in there and have sex? No, you do not.
See, that would be me, Leslie. That would happen to me. I would walk
Ain't
in,
nobody
I'd
want to
sit
see
down,
that, right?
And I go, what? You want me to take my clothes off? Are you high? Okay. But
Right.
so now you also are part of this this amazing intimacy box.
I am just trying to do as much as I can before I die, Maryann, with regards to helping people have the best possible life that they can have. And that means amazing intimacy. That means amazing relationship, amazing sex. And it all equals amazing life because the quality of our relationship absolutely determines the quality of our life when we really think about it. And so I'm hitting it in many directions. We have an amazing intimacy tribe on Facebook. My husband, Doug, is a therapist of 40 years.
Yeah.
Also works with sexuality, but personal development as well. So we have this tribe on Facebook called the Amazing Intimacy Tribe that anyone is welcome if they are a couple who wants to enhance their relationship.
Wow.
Then about 4 months ago, a partner and I developed the Amazing Intimacy Box. And it's sitting right here. Here's a little massage oil from the box. And this shows up at your doorstep. What it is an experience and lifestyle box. So I've created experiences that a couple can do in their own home, maybe for a date night, a little bit more than a date night. And I've put products in the box as well that enhances the experience. So it shows up your doorstep every quarter. And then the two of you can open up the box and have a really good time, carve out your own time. Some people can't get out. They don't date consistently enough.
Right.
I'm a big fan of that, but people are always saying, we don't get out enough. I'm like, okay, you don't have any excuses anymore. It's coming to your doorstep.
Right. So that's fabulous. That's a great idea.
It's really fun.
So I'm curious. So do you customize based on the individuals, on the couples?
We haven't got to that point. I'm hoping to because people's level of spice, if you will, is different.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to provide that kind of variety down the road. Currently, I'm trying to keep it pretty universal and broad and classy.
Yes.
So that we can hit that ground where everybody gets a little something, but we're not freaking some people out and other people are going, oh man, that was boring. Right?
Right. Exactly.
So the first box, I don't know if I can lift it up and show it. It's kind of big. I don't think I can show it. Let's see if I can do it without it all falling over.
Okay.
I was like, I don't know. This is like, There we go.
Oh, that's beautiful packaging, though.
Yes, then it flung it. So you get like all the experiences that I've designed for you. Some are fun, some are romantic, some are sensual. You will hopefully end up in the bedroom.
Oh, wow.
And I've got a personally, this candle was handcrafted, designed, no kidding, with the research behind it, that the smell in it makes you more attractive in the eye of the beholder.
Oh my God. Really?
Right?
Can
Yes.
we make perfume out of that, Leslie? Can we make
And
perfume?
it's fabulous. It's fabulous.
We
There's
need
a
to-
font.
We need to make perfume out of that.
I know. There is. And then there was a nice throw. There was a fondue pot. There was a massage oil, a little shortbread, some etch-a-sketches. That was a little fun thing that I had people do. But just so you know, this box is sold out because it flew. It flew, and we were completely sold out the day of shipping.
Wow, God bless you.
I know, right? So exciting. And the next box shows up in January. And I'm working on crafting that right now. It's called Bebe, It's Cold Outside.
Oh, so, baby. It's cold.
We're going to warm you up. We're going to warm you up. So
I love it. Well, apparently you have some fans here. Danica just said that the candle smells
Danica,
amazing.
I love you, girl. Love you, Danica. Yes, good. Did you do your exercises, Danica? Mm-hmm. And Tammy's here. Hi, Tammy.
Tammy's here. We got a lot. Yeah. But
and Chuck, awesome. Hi, Chuck. Thank you guys for being here.
Yeah.
And the last little, and the last little thing I'm gonna advertise, and then let's get into some more grit here, is that for the first time ever, Doug and I are providing free breakthrough sessions for couples who are ready to capture the relationship, the marriage that they want. We've never done this before. But what we do is get on a call for free for 45 minutes or as long as it takes to help unearth everybody's core issues, the couple's core issues unique to them, help them figure out what they want, and provide resources for them if we can. So those are the three things that are going on right now that are just kind of big. The Amazing Intimacy Drop, the Amazing Intimacy Box, and these breakthrough sessions for couples.
And these breakthrough, they're free sessions?
They are free sessions. Now, if we might invite you into more with us, because certain couples are ready to capture their big, beautiful dream marriage. And so we open up that door to the people who are really ready to do that. Regardless, it's a high value session with the two of us, specific to your relationship, where you can really get clear on what is going on in your relationship that's holding it back and keeping you from getting all that you want in it.
You know, I have to commend you for that because, you know,
thanks.
You very rarely hear, especially people in your field, say this is free.
I know, and we've never done free.
Well, and you know, it's hard to do free. I mean,
it's hard to do free.
Right.
And yeah, it's hard to do free, but it's exciting to do free because it really does give people an opportunity to say, whoa, one, I didn't know more was available to me, that we could have something more. So many people, I have to tell you, so many people, it breaks my heart, settle for so much less than they can have in their intimate relationship. And Doug and I are blessed and fortunate to be living our amazing intimacy. And we just want to give that back to all who want it to. So,
yeah, but see, I love you for that because, you know, when people when people take the time to do that, it shows that you really care about these people. You're just not trying to, you know it's not about the billing hours.
It isn't. It's about serving. It's about caring for. It's about giving back. It's about giving over. It's about doing what I was called here to do in life. Right. We all have a mission and a purpose. If we don't, oh my gosh, please find it.
Yes, I agree.
You know?
I agree.
So that you can have your big impact in life too.
Yes. And I agree with you. And maybe that's why we're all kindred spirits, because for me, it's all about making an impact on people. That's what it's about, you know?
Well, and you do whoever is in your presence, Maryann. I just love you. You have, you shine bright. You are incredibly deep and loving and kind and have such an incredible aura. You know, you won me over. You got me at hello. You know that.
Oh, honey, you got me at yo. Okay, I love you. Thank you for saying that. I
gotta work on my Italian chick stuff. Yeah.
I'm gonna make you an Italian chick yet. Okay. So let's try. You said let's get into a little bit more of the nitty gritty of the because you know I am all about sex because it is one of my favorite topics and hobbies. Okay, but
well, good. It's good for you. It's good for all of us.
Yeah, it is good. But like a person who's alone and doesn't have necessarily a daily partner, can't really get an intimacy box because unless
You could have, yeah, you could have fondue by yourself. The experiences, you might, right.
but maybe, Leslie, here's what I'm just thinking, because I'm an entrepreneur as well, you know. So I'm thinking maybe you can do intimacy boxes for a single person.
You know, again, we'd like to be able to provide all the different kind of variants. You know, the
Right.
bigger we get, the more we can do.
Yeah.
Because I also have, you know, a heart for empowering women and women in their sexuality. So I think there's room for kind of the self-pamper,
Yeah, yeah.
sexual empowerment box.
Yes.
You know, there's so much that we can do if this really flies, and then it'll just be more fun and fun. Yeah.
Well, I know it's going to fly because you're a part of it. And when
Oh,
you,
you're so sweet.
no, I mean that when you have that energy and that magic behind it, I mean, you're going to make it just push forward in the universe. It's just going to happen.
Thanks, honey.
You're welcome, baby. So give us some more, some more fact and fiction about this stuff. Because some people, as you said, mostly people come in and they're not going to start right out by letting you know that they do have a sexual issue in their relationship, because
Yes.
it's hard to say that to a stranger, even though you're a therapist.
Yeah, it is. And some are bolder. And no, most of us were not raised in homes where our parents sat down consistently from, you know, as little as we were and educated us well, right?
Right, right.
We maybe got a talk, an uncomfortable talk around 8 or 10 years old. Or we didn't at all, or we found out from our peers what is sex, and we got a lot of myths and we got a lot of miseducation. So most people that I work with come in with some kind of like educational need around sex, because it hasn't really been permission giving to talk about it. Nobody was like, this is okay to talk about, sex is good, let's know all about it. It didn't happen in people's homes. They are uncomfortable on some level. You know, what's the language that we use? Do we do crass? Do we do anatomical? There are 1,000 different ways we can describe, you know, body parts. So
Right.
most people don't even know how to talk about it, because it's like, how do we talk about it? It's so awkward and funny. And sometimes there's giggles and sometimes it's awkward, but that's where the empowerment begins, is being able to talk about sex out loud, which is exactly why I love doing Facebook Lives like this. So I can just say to people, it's okay. Start to get comfortable just talking about it. If you can't
Right.
talk about sex, read a book together that's sexy so that you can start using language out loud with each other, and get like anything, be able to talk about it, like your finances, like your parenting, all of those other things.
Right.
And so most people come in with need, you know, an educational need, but also need permission and freedom and empowerment around being able to talk about it and not feel ashamed, and to have a compassionate listener who says, that's okay, let's just figure it out together.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And you know, the
open
one
up
thing,
open up the gate.
I agree with what you're saying, because even myself, because I'm only going by my own personal experience here. When I was in a relationship about 5 years ago, and there was an issue there. And it was funny because I used to say, the more we talked about it, the less we did about it. Because we made it, the more we talked about not having sex, the less we did about trying to have it.
That's a super great point. A super great point, because there's over talking, right?
Yeah.
But what that is probably anxiety and a little bit of analysis paralysis, where, you know, you're worried and avoidance has settled in, and you're having a hard time moving towards the bedroom and moving towards, you know, skin to skin and
Right.
being vulnerable and just showing up again. And when that avoidance starts to creep in, which is sometimes the primary thing that gets in the way of a consistent sex life, is that when it stops happening, it gets a little weird.
Right. Well, that's
And
my
then
whole
you're like
point.
you're trying to figure it out. And if you're talking about it all the time, or you're not talking about it, a lot of couples just don't talk about it because it's whether they don't know how to talk about it.
Right.
But if you're talking about it all the time, you're basically probably just sharing a lot of anxiety back and forth.
Yeah.
That's keeping you from just like
doing it. Yes.
you know, stop, drop, and roll already.
Yes, exactly.
You know?
Exactly, baby.
But that's right, because the anxiety is such a deterrent from moving towards and leaning in and having great sex.
Right.
From beginning to end in your relationship, anxiety can be an absolute obstacle.
Agreed.
Not to mention that when you're in the bedroom, anxiety is the opposite of what you need to be experiencing, which is relaxation and luxuriating and freedom and exploration. When that central nervous system is all amped up, your body doesn't
Exactly.
even work,
Right.
right? So a lot of times, you're
You're
bringing up a
right.
great point. A lot of times I have to help people with getting anxiety out of the bedroom, getting anxiety lessened in the relationship so that they're just more relaxed with each other, more freed up and more authentic.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
whether that's in the bedroom or outside the bedroom door,
Hmm.
it's kind of similar. Can you show up as yourself, vulnerably and authentically and real with your partner
Hmm.
in the bedroom, out of the bedroom? And can you relax and settle in, experience and enjoy?
Yeah.
And
And
all of those can all be disrupted. The
you're
ability
right.
to relax, the ability to experience, the ability to enjoy, the ability to be free in the bedroom, the ability to want to try new things.
Hmm.
There's a lot that is so beautiful and amazing that can happen when we are able to show up in our own fullness and um, in our own sexuality. So
Well,
sometimes it's
yeah.
an individual issue, sometimes it's a couple issue.
Right, exactly. And as I said, bringing it up does create that anxiety, and then it becomes a focal point. So you run away from it then. That's why you never go back
Yes.
to talking because it's like, well, forget about it. But the one thing
Yes.
I always found that, and I still find that to this day, even when it's not about the act of sex itself, about maybe getting to a sexy place, to
Uh-huh.
go there. How about that? Let's go to the sexy place before I always found reminiscing
Oh, that's
about
good.
how you met and all these things you did and that kind of like stirs the gravy, the pot. You know what I mean?
Yes. Or even reminiscing or remembering in your mind, whether shared or not shared, times that were very hot and spicy for you, or where,
Yeah,
there are memories of when the sex for you as your own self really were able to experience great things. Those are the kinds of fantasies, if you will, that can really enhance and get you
exactly.
in a mindset, because the number one sex organ really is our mind, and where we go with it and what we can do with it,
Right,
and being able to feel and connect with our own sexual self. And
right.
I say sexual self because I believe that is a real thing, that a part of our identity is that we're also sexual. We were born sexual, we are meant to be sexual, and then it all gets derailed. Sometimes with shame, not talking about it, not
Right.
understanding it, or trauma, or whatever it is that gets in the way from, I am a healthy sexual person, and that's okay. And I want to experience that, and I want to enliven that, and I want to keep that on the front burner. Now, when we're talking about men and women, there is a little bit stereotypically, but there's still a truth about sexual desire and how men and women experience that.
Hmm.
Men typically have a much more linear physiological kind of pattern of desire, which is I feel horny. Where's my person? Let's have
Right.
sex.
Right. Exactly.
Women identify with that, but not always. There are times in the month they may identify with that more. But there's
Hmm.
another kind of desire that I've got to talk about, because it's helpful to know, and people are always, jaws always drop when I say there's another kind of desire that goes like this. I don't really know if I want sex. I don't even know if I feel sexy. I don't know. When was the last time we had sex? Oh, let's talk and connect. Okay, let's warm up. Let's get to know each other a little bit. Oh, I'm starting to relax. Okay, I think I'm sort of open to it. And then you get going and your body comes alive and you're like, hey, I want sex.
Right. Exactly.
Which is that all of the trappings and the context and the arousal happens sometimes for many people, women in particular, after things get rolling.
Hmm.
And so they can feel kind of freaky when, unlike their guy, they don't walk around with this, I want sex, I want sex. 80%
Right.
of the time, guys are that guy. And 20% of the time, women are the one walking around going, I want sex, as the more
Right.
predominant partner.
Right.
But they are both legit.
Got it.
Both of those models of sexual desire are legit.
That's
And so a lot
interesting.
of times women think there's something wrong with me because I don't have sexual desire like he does. That's because you have different sexual desire. It's called responsive sexual desire, and it's a thing.
Wow. That's so
Right?
interesting.
It's
Yeah.
a thing.
Yeah.
You need to warmed up. You need to get connected. You need to feel like he knows you, she knows you,
Right.
whatever the partnering is,
Right.
until you can start to go, oh, I think I'm open to connecting and doing more with you.
Exactly.
And then we add some skin and touching, and then bodies respond. And then you go, oh, there's my sexual desire. Meaning it needed to be activated.
Right.
It doesn't just sit on the front. It's on the back burner and needs activated. It needs
So
lit up.
my non-clinical word for that would be like great foreplay.
It could be foreplay, but it doesn't even have to be sexual foreplay, because everybody's context can be a little bit different. Everybody's turn-ons outside of the bedroom can be unique and individual. Discovering those can be really helpful. It may be that you literally, when you sit close to your partner long enough, start to settle down and feel comfortable, and then you start to feel turned on. It could be you see your partner from afar and you love the way he types, pulling from my own home.
Yeah.
Or you love the way he plays guitar, and then you go, right?
Right.
But whatever your context is, the context and your turn-ons are what have to be kind of kindle first. Whether that's literal foreplay with touching and sexuality, or whether that's little things that you start to discover, or nuances about yourself and your own turn-ons. A lot of times women say, if I don't feel connected emotionally, then how can I possibly have sex with him? That is not uncommon. It's not the only way to get in the bedroom, but a lot of women say, it's too big of a leap. If I don't feel emotionally connected, it's like I don't feel known. And then who am I sleeping with? And who is he sleeping with?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Is it about me or isn't it?
It's true. So for me, it could almost be like, and I'm going off a little bit off the ledge on this, because I did say to my friend Gennaro, who I would love for you to meet Gennaro one day. He's
on here, isn't he?
Yeah, he's on here, and he works for the New York City Council of the Arts, and he's so involved in the food industry in New York City and all these amazing chefs.
Oh,
so
yum.
And Gennaro would be the only man I would make an exception for in my life. Okay,
Right.
So if Gennaro came over here with a meatball hero, that
Are you hearing that? Are you hearing that, Gennaro? Are you hearing that right now? Your path could be changing.
That's right. Just for an hour, Gennaro. Okay. But if there was something I liked, like that would do it too. If it was a food thing, because I think food is very sensual.
Yes, and it hits dopamine center, which is our pleasure center, and there's all sorts of things that can. But the thing is to tune in.
Yeah.
The thing is to say, I want this wonderful sex. I want this amazing intimacy. I want to be a sexual person who's hot and alive and has consistent sex with their partner. And how do I keep that happening for myself?
Right.
What ingredients does it take? Does it mean, I treat myself to certain foods because that makes me feel sexy? Does it mean I wear certain things because that keeps sex on the brain for me?
And let me ask you this, something just struck me on this, because I think there's two different ways. We've talked about a lot of the physical ailments, medical ailments. It could be hormonal for women, or all those, the silly things that I was talking about in the beginning of the show. All right.
But real things, the physical difficulties.
Right. But what about people? And it could be a man or a woman. I'm not trying to, I don't know the stats. You might. But what about a woman who has intimacy issues because of something that happened in her lifetime?
Yes.
And she doesn't want to share this with her husband. So now that creates a block in the bedroom. And then it could also make somebody in that relationship want to sway.
Well, yeah, there are a lot of things in that question going on at once there. Yes, trauma, injuries in our history, whether they are emotional, whether or not they're physical or they're sexual, definitely have an impact in our ability to usually to be vulnerable and open, because we have a higher sensitivity and a self-protection around being hurt.
Right.
And so there can be a block. Those things got to be worked through. I mean, we can't, if we've been harmed, just sit on those and not get help for those and not be able to verbalize those, because those traumas stay trapped. They stay just like blocks within ourselves. They're painful within
Absolutely.
ourselves, and they keep us from the fullness of things that we can have in relationships.
Right.
So there's healing that is needed in those. And I would encourage anybody who's experienced sexual trauma or any kind of trauma to take care of yourself and get help. It was never your fault. There's no shame in it. Take care of you. I know it takes great courage, but
Right.
there's beauty and healing available. But
Absolutely.
it can keep somebody from being able to be vulnerable and intimate, or even wanting sex,
Right.
because
Right.
the pairing is that it was so negative or harmful. When you pair what's supposed to be a pleasurable experience with pain, you run the risk of resistance and pulling away and avoidance from entering in again, right? Because it's not supposed to be painful. It's supposed to be pleasurable, and it's
Right.
supposed to be, beautiful and good. And when these other things get in the way that tell the brain and our psyche differently, then those create resistances from having all that we can have.
Agreed. Leslie, we
Yeah.
have a question here.
Good.
From Tom Markham. I don't know if
Hey,
Tom is,
Tom.
oh, you know Tom.
Sure.
He's saying it's such a delicate subject. He said, if I bring up sex, it looks like that's all I care about. I have to be, now I've never hit see more. I don't want to, that's all I care about. And I have to be very careful how I use my words. I'm assuming with his partner.
Yeah, and that may be the case. And I see this a lot between men and women, which is we do something with the word sex that devalues it. We
Yeah.
decide that it's a bad thing. It's like he just wants sex. It's not about me, which is like saying he just wants to use me. And when we look at the word sex and think it's not love, then we have a hard time going, what is it he wants from me? What is he asking for? And a lot of
Exactly.
times men don't have the words, because men know that they want sex, but they aren't always able to say, because it makes me feel like a man, because it helps me connect up with myself, because I love you so much and it's the only way I know how to communicate my love, because when we're naked and when we're touching, I feel so much more alive than anywhere else in my life.
Right.
And you matter so much to me, and I love to revisit that with you. They don't have those words, and all their partner is here. He wants sex. It's not about me.
Right.
And we devalue the word sex as if it's not meaningful or important.
Right.
If it's not saying love, because it's still just saying, I love you and I want to make love to you, and sex is my avenue.
Exactly.
That makes sense?
It makes
So
sense
I can
to me.
see where Tom, you can be, walking on eggshells if there's that dynamic around. Do we understand the emotion and the love and the intention behind the words? And my hunch is that's broken down between the two of you, or hasn't been realized.
Right. Right. That's fabulous, Les.
Well, thanks, hon.
I mean, see, this is what happens when you're a professional.
It happens a lot, because it's two people's needs, right? And so often women are coming in with I need emotional connection, I need more relationship, I need more love. And a guy enters in with, that's all great, but we haven't had sex in 4 or 5 months, and
Right.
and he's just like, I just want sex. And they're speaking what seems like are different languages, but they're not. It's the same language that says, I want to be with you. You matter to me. I love you. We need to connect. I feel a part. How can we connect?
Exactly.
I feel like if we have sex, we'll connect. I feel like if you knew me and we were emotionally connected, then we'd be good. Both are legit, and both need to be happening if you're going to have amazing intimacy. That intense depth of connection, right? Emotionally and vulnerably. In play and pleasure, in recreation, there's all kinds of intimacy, but then there also has to be that physicality. There has to be.
Absolutely. There has to be. I agree.
It's just a beautiful expression of all that is in the whole of the relationship.
Well, Tom over here, Tom, I have to really applaud you, because you're a highly evolved man, because he is now talking about something that I was exposed to, which was let me move up to, somebody just made a comment. He knows, I know of the primary love languages, touch and affirmation are my primary languages. So he's saying that for him, it's about touching and affirmation. For his wife, she may have a different love language.
Yes.
And I think you have to, if you're really in this, and Leslie, you correct me if I'm wrong, because you're the expert here, but
you're doing great. I feel like this could be a second career for you, Maryann.
Really? Well, I always wanted to be a shrink. But
I can
I
see
never
it.
thought
I
about
can
the
see it.
sex part
I can
because
see
that's
it.
my thing too. All right, but you can go online and there's a little test that you can take, which will for free. It's for free, and
Love
you can
languages, yeah.
and you can find out what your love language is. Some people
Mm-hmm.
like acts of service. Some
Mm-hmm.
people, I like touch. I'm like that. I'm like that little boo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always hanging over people. I'm Italian too. What do we do, right? We squid you. I'm like, come here, I want to squeeze your face. So I get it. So Tom, I think, she likes acts of service. Oh, that's interesting. So, so now you're going to have to switch that up, Tom. I'm thinking you can't just say, I want sex. That's not an act of service, okay?
Could be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it can
Yeah.
be in a way, but yeah, but
And
that's interesting.
the love languages are a help. But if we're married to them, what we
Forget
end
it.
up doing is fighting for our own love language.
Right.
And so then we're in that same dynamic of me, my needs, my needs, my needs, meet my needs, meet my needs.
Right.
And they're going, no, meet my needs.
Right,
I'm
right.
this, I'm this, I'm this.
Right.
And the heart of love language is it's supposed to be a help in efficiently loving another, which means is it helps you know a couple things about your partner so that you can like cut through all the difficulty and go, well, let's just do that, right?
Right.
And so it does take a kind of surrendering and a servant heart to like go, that's not mine, but I'm going to do it anyway. That's not my love language, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Right.
The problem is that has to be reciprocal, right? You both have to be
Exactly.
doing that with the same intention. But apart from love languages, and this is where I also think it gets people stuck like that, right? Because then they're just
Agreed.
doing the power struggle around me, is that we all as people have potentially a well of love within us, right?
Yeah, we
that
do.
when we take care of ourselves, when we perhaps have a spiritual source or whatever it is, we have love within, and we need to be able to pull from that well and pour it out to another. And that isn't
Right.
about matching a love language. It's about heart. It's about wanting to love. It's about the experience of how everybody wins when we do that.
Yes.
We win when we're loving, and people that we are loving win too. And it also kind of infectiously causes another to want to do the same. So that's why self-care is so important, right? It's because you're always needing to fill back up so that you have resources to give. And so martyring and taking care of everybody else and codependence doesn't work because
No.
underneath that, you're like resentful.
Resentful,
Because your
yes.
well is so tapped out. And so, yes, love languages are helpful if you know them and you proactively do it, but you've also got to be coming from this well of love where you want to love and everyone wins and you know it.
I so agree with everything you just said there because and the part of not being married to these love languages because now you're letting that dictate your style.
Yes.
And you know what's funny? Because I did it and then like about 6 months later I did it again and they all changed. I was like, see that something's wrong with me.
the joke for women is my love language is the one that I'm not getting right now.
Right, bravo, Bella.
I got the touch, I got the gifts. Yeah, didn't have that one lately. Where's the acts of service?
Right, where's the acts of service, right?
Because I do think it fluctuates a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I mean, I think that's great to be, it's awareness. It's an awareness.
Yes.
thing.
And how about all of the love languages? What if you as a couple decided, let's just exaggerate all of the love languages, right? We're just proactively doing acts of service and we're touching on each other and
Right.
we're giving little gifts here and there. Talk about creating a culture that's alive and exciting and loving.
Right, exactly.
And you've got two people that are involved in doing this loving thing and you're finding all sorts of creative ways to keep love alive. That's what I'm after.
That's a ticket. Oh, he says, boy, Tom is in this. Tom is in this like a dog with a bone. He's not letting go.
I know Tom pretty well for a long time.
It's a reference point only for me. I keep it in the back. All right, he's clarifying because Tom, I still love you. It's okay. All right.
That's all right, Tom.
It's all right, Tom.
I know your heart, and I'm aware of what's happening for you.
And I'm just so impressed that you were so evolved to be able to make reference to that. That's all.
Right.
Okay,
right. It's a guy who's trying. I love that.
Yeah, I love it too.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about your book as well? Because not
Yeah,
only do you have this amazing life going on with all of this and the
it's
intimacy
crazy.
box, yeah.
It's
Tell
crazy
us
life.
about your book, baby girl.
The book was, well, let me tell you about the book. The primary writer is my husband. He's really the writer. I was kind of the help in the writing because of my specialization. So it's called Amazing Intimacy, Create a Spectacular Marriage in and Out of the Bedroom. It is a big book of 368 pages. I like to think of it as a how-to guide for love, sex, and passion. By that, I mean that it's a pretty daunting task to say, I'm going to read this book from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And so you can kind of use it as a resource too, and kind of dip into the book as it suits you around your own need set. But the book has been out 5.5 years. By the time we were finished writing the book, it was like how to ruin your marriage by writing a book, you know, because it's so big to write a book, and it colors your whole life for a very long time. But we're very, very proud of it. Doug is very proud of it. I'm proud of him for it. He longed to write a book. And it's very comprehensive, we think. And there's also a workbook section where you can join together with your partner and ask each other questions. And there's also a summary in the back in case you don't want to do the reading at all and you want the Cliff Notes version.
Wow.
But the book is really what launched everything. It's what got us on the Huffington Post. It's what got me on Fox. It really was the door opener, if you will.
Right.
We did not end up millionaires or on the bestseller list, but it's definitely been a calling card and a useful thing that we give couples as a resource when they come work with us. But what was I going to say about the book? The book really, let me tell you, do I have time to tell you a little bit about our story?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Doug and I have been married for 21 years, together for 23. And we have always had a very solid relationship. We've always been very, very in love. But like many couples along the way, we fell into complacency and defensiveness and preoccupation with work, and our connection lessened. And it was very difficult. We have a son on the spectrum who's autistic. Wow. And so there was a time in our marriage that was incredibly very stressful, disconnected. We were battling more and not in our fullness. And then it was about 8-9 years ago. He'd always wanted to write the book. And then 9 years ago, I think it was 9 years ago, out of nowhere, he ended up with triple bypass heart surgery.
Oh, wow.
Doug did. And it was just what we needed. It was just what we needed to get out of our stupor and get out of our fog and get out of our selfishness and say, oh my gosh, I almost lost my own most important person. And that's really what was the impetus for writing the book, was this clarifying experience that says, you know, we only have one life, and it needs to be amazing. And we found a new vulnerability with each other, a new level of depth that continues to sustain us. And it helped inform kind of personally, the personal angle with the book. And then of course our professional expertise, we pulled that in too. So that was kind of our story. And now that we're living it, once you start to live it, right? And once you start to see the end of life, you know, because we're in whatever years we are here, and the egocentrism is gone of youth, and the invincibility of youth is gone. And you realize, you know, we have one life. Let's make it the best time life we possibly can.
Yes.
And I live for that. That's my legacy, and we're grateful to share it.
Wow, honey, that's amazing. God bless you.
I didn't know I was going to get all into that, but
all right.
You know,
I'm sorry.
Your most important relationship is everything.
Well, yes, but you're absolutely right. And that was a huge wake up in so many ways.
It was a wake up. And I don't want people to have to wait for the wake up.
Right.
And a lot of people do. Or they wait for the crisis, or the affair, or the betrayal, or the whatever. Because something bad happens.
You know, as they say this in Italian, they say it in American, but they say tutte fragile, which means everything is fragile. Everything is fragile.
Yes.
And you know, we have to, you know, that's why my motto is I live every day in the damn moment. I am in the moment, because you know what? In the past lives depression, and in the future is anxiety. Because now I'm thinking, so if I stay right the frig here, I'm going to be fine. You understand?
Right.
Don't bother me. And that's how you should walk. And if you stay in that moment, everybody that's in front of you is going to be so important to you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And the things that are happening in your day have a sacred meaning too, right?
Right.
It's
Mike,
like, I'm supposed to be
I
here
think
in this right now.
Michael is checking out your book on
That's
Amazon right now, just so you know.
$18, 18, it went up. I thought it was 17. Okay.
All right, it went up.
Sorry.
All right, Mike, it's okay. But at least he's paying attention, okay?
Yeah. I wonder if there's any other questions. Do you think there's any other questions?
Does anybody have any questions?
Questions are always fun.
Yeah, they're always fun. Danica was loving our conversation before, so she got a lot out of it.
I love Danica.
I was reading
She's
that.
awesome.
Yeah. She said, Leslie, always make me say, ooh,
Oh,
I get it.
Good.
Then she said,
Good.
thanks for this, Maryann. I said, well, thank you for Leslie. I mean, otherwise we wouldn't be able to do this. But so how do people get
and feel free to
with you?
share this, guys. Let's get everybody talking about sex,
Yes,
all right?
yeah,
Share it to your
let's talk
pages
about
if
sex,
you have talk about you and me. If you're courageous enough, share it out, right? If you're courageous enough. If you dare.
Yes, I'd like.
I know your mama might be watching.
Right. Especially all of you Italian men who live in the basement with your mother still. I want you to all scream, let's talk about sex. All right, that's it. So now, if people want to reach you, baby doll, where can they get you?
They can find me everywhere, because I am everywhere. But please, if you want to be in my tribe, that's the Amazing Intimacy Tribe. We can put in links here later too. But I'm on Instagram a lot, mostly Facebook and Instagram at this stage of the game. Although I met all my favorite people, so many favorite people on Snapchat for 2 years.
That's true. That's true, right? Well, that's where I found you through Gina. She was she was the portal for all of this. So listen, when we end this video, guys, I encourage you. Thank you, Michael, for saying that. He said he shared it with everybody and he found it very insightful.
Thank you. Good.
So I encourage all of you to take this video and share it. That would be fabulous. I'm going to be doing the same.
Same.
And when I do get off this video, what I'm going to do is put in some more information. But Leslie's